Canberra Steelers side have just come onto the field. We'll run quickly through the team for you. They've got David Riolo at fullback. Rod Wishart, Brent Rodwell, Paul McGregor, Brendan O'Meara at the backs. Dale Fritz is the 5'8", Simon's the halfback. Steve Waddell, Dean Callaway and David Walsh constitute the front row. Craig Izzard and John Cross are the second row, and Neil Pinchinelli's in there as well. We'll just have to be sure which position they're playing in.
And of course the Canberra Raiders side now being called out onto the field. Only the one change in the Raiders lineup today, and that is Scott Gale coming off the bench in place of Matthew Wood. The Raiders this afternoon fired up for a big performance. And the Raiders led out by their captain, Big Mal Meninga. Scored that devastating try against Brisbane last Friday night. Running through the Canberra team, Brett Mullins at fullback. The three quarters, Sean Hoppy, Meninga, Boyle and Croker. The halves are Gale and Stewart. In the forwards, Brad Clyde makes his return to football. David Furner, Stephen Stone, Darren Fritz, Steve Walters at hooker and Paul Osborne. The referee today is Graham West.
Well, Canberra will be running from left to right. The Illawarra side will be running in the red jerseys and white shorts from right to left. Illawarra will be kicking off. This is a game for the Canberra side of pride only. They need to win in front of their supporters, which have diminished slightly down here. Obviously the Canberra people like to see a winning side, and Canberra's been through some travail in the last month or so, 6 weeks or so. They've put down a few results that they should have gotten, but they're not in the running for the final five. They are on 16 points, and they just need it for pride. Now the other side, Illawarra, are in with a very, very good chance. They can leapfrog the St George side, who lost yesterday, by winning today and go into second place. Anyway, the kickoff's taken place. Stewart takes it nicely, about 10 metres out from his line, gives it away there to Hoppy. Hoppy, the good three-quarter that they've arrived with the Canberra side, came up with him towards the start of this year. Here's Bradley Clyde on one of those magnificent surges of his, made an easy 10 metres there. Little tiny knock on, I thought, at dummy half onto Mal Meninga. Out to Hoppy. Hoppy's going up the sideline. He's got only about 30 metres to go. Gets a pass away. It was an awful pass, dreadful pass. And I think the Illawarra side have knocked on in attempting to pick it up. But that pass went on the inside. It was a rough one, let me tell you.
Yeah, a bad pass there from Sean Hoppy. Sean did spill a couple of balls against Brisbane last week. Hands haven't been the best for him lately, but spilling that ball there. The Raiders in a good spot, though, and now they win the feed. Ricky Stewart swings it out. Scott Gale.
On to Mal Meninga. Meninga's in the centres. He's pushing off his opponent, who's come up and tried to tackle him. He's an enormous man. They still don't get him down, the two of them. Now Stewart goes round the blind side of the ruck. Gets it out there to number 5, Jason Croker. Only about 3 metres out from the line. Don Furner, straight and hard. His father's very pleased with him, I should say. Donny Furner was a very good player himself. He's pleased with the way his son's coming on. Meninga with a little grubber kick through. 3 of the Steelers backs running for it. Oh, yes, they should have gotten to that one. They overran it. That was silly. And in haste, they went for it. And unfortunately for them, they overran it.
Well, that's the second ball we've seen Illawarra spill. Now Michael Bolt on the sideline. They have been slow starters in recent weeks. This week looks to be no different.
Yeah, they've certainly been very tentative in the way they get into the games. They come back very well in the second half, but you can't let Canberra get a go in this game. If they get a taste of the lead, they will take it all the way.
Out there to David Boyle. Boyle straightens the attack up. Bradley Clyde's gone to the side of the ruck with Stewart. They're only about 8 metres out from the line now. On there to big Darren Fritz, and he surges at the line. Magnificent specimen, this fellow, well over 6 feet, and he's got to be 17 stone. Passes back on the inside to number 8. Is he there? No. Paul Osborne was trying desperately. And the ball knocked out of the dummy half's hands. It will be a penalty to the Canberra Steelers, the Canberra Raiders, because the ball was knocked out of the dummy half's hands.
Darren Fritz putting on a bit of a spurt near the line there. Of course, Darren Fritz is being widely tipped as being chosen into that World Cup squad, which leaves to head off to Great Britain at the end of the year. Fritzy's been with the Raiders now for a couple of seasons. He's come on very well. He played in the shadows of Glenn Lazarus through 1991. And this season it's really been up to him to run the show from up front.
Well, let me just say, in that context, with Fritz, it's obvious to anyone that sees him, he's a big fellow, he's enormous. He's got a great physique and a very powerful man. So Bob Fulton, the Australian Rugby League coach and a selector as well, would be of the opinion that he would be a very good match for Sirenen, Geyer, or anyone else that they might like to take away on that tour. He likes the big fellas. Well, this kick by Ferner will be taken from about a metre in from the quarter and about 11 metres in from the sideline. Doesn't appear to be any breeze down there. Having a good look at it, one of the round the corner style of kickers. Moves in now. He's got it. Canberra go to a 2-0 lead.
1992, David Ferner has been a real find for the Raiders, still to sign with the club, we believe, possibly sometime early this week. Ferner will put pen to paper and stay with the Canberra side. He has had plenty of offers, though, from interstate Rex. He'd be a player that a lot of Sydney clubs would love to have.
Indeed, yes. A lot of players will be making moves in the next few months. All right, let's get back to the football here with the Canberra side in possession from the kick-off, only about 13 metres out. Here again, Clyde surging forward. He does it all well. I don't want to make it sound like a Clyde commercial, but he does everything very well. He's always looking for work when the hard yakker's on, and also he's a brilliant runner. Towering kick by Stewart goes way over the head of David Riolo. He's fielded it now about 15 metres out from his line. Nicely tackled right round the boot tops there by David Boyle. Rod Wishart goes for a little sprint up the side. He's always looking for the weak side, the blind side, which is pretty cluey. Way to travel, McGregor. Got a pass on to Rodwell. Rodwell driven sideways there. Bradley Clive was the tackler, one of them. And now it's Waddell's turn to take it forward.
Michael Bolt, I was reading an article about Rod Wishart during the week. A couple of diffs that are run place, something that occurred at birth or when he was a youngster. It's apparently kept him off the weights.
Yes, it certainly has. What's been diagnosed is that the lower part of his disc is affecting his hamstring, and that's been the source of the problems. Because he is a very muscular fellow, and he's been doing so many weights. That's the combination of both is putting more pressure on the discs, and therefore the hamstrings are causing him so many problems. So it's off the weights for Wishy for a while.
All right, well, let's have a look at Darren Fritz going up the blind side of the ruck. Always a good side to run if you're a big fella, because you usually find the players that are looking for a rest in defence slip out to the blind side. Good, strong head-on defence there. Dale Fritz was one of the tacklers. Osborne, the former St George player with the Canberra side now, goes forward a few yards. Got ball skills. A little bit of a tear away. Oh, there's a bad kick from Stewart. It went backwards. It's gone back about 5 yards. He doesn't take it. The ball ricochets to Illawarra. It's come out there to Brendan O'Mara, and he's tackled on the halfway line. Well, I suggest that Stewart cut that one out of his repertoire.
Well, it's one of the rare times we've seen Ricky Stewart put a kick in and it actually goes backwards like that. Stewart normally very good with the kicking.
Well, the Illawarra side are taking the odds to hitting the ball from the dummy half right on the line. On the demarcation line, and that's always fraught with danger. A couple of little passes there in the last couple of sequences that could have been ruled forward by the referee had he felt disposed. Well, Hoppy came, but he came much too late. Stewart was there, the ball was in his hands. He was almost pleading with Hoppy to come sooner on the blind side. The opening had been created, but they go now to the open side. Tom Ferner again, tackled right on the halfway line. Ball was a dummy half, got it away there to Fritz. Fritz is about 5 metres into Illawarra territory. They lead by 2-0. Penalty goal to Don Ferner. Gale out to Stewart, little chip over the top. This is a good one if the bounce is right. It's not. Oh, it's taken beautifully by Riolo. Riolo's gone very nicely. Tackled 10 metres into Canberra's line. Simon. Away to Dale Fritz, onto McGregor. McGregor over a good strong surge. Takes play up to within 10 metres of the Canberra quarter. Piccinelli. The man really responsible for the try that won the game against Newcastle. Izzard. Oh, there's one put down by Waddell that could have led to a try. The pass looked okay. The referees had to rule it was knocked forward. A good opportunity there. What did you think of that one, Mike?
Well, of course, John Cross trying to get the ball away there, and you'll see the pass went astray to Steve Waddell, who spilled it forward. Illawarra in a great position there. One thing that Illawarra do look to be doing, and they're trying to run that ball round the halves area. Canberra were very slow in their marker defence last week against Brisbane, and that's an area that no doubt they've been working on a bit this week. Tim Sheens would have brought it to their attention. They were very slow around the marker area. Every time Brisbane did get the ball in that game last week too, they did hit the vantage line, so no doubt it's an area that they'll hope to tidy up on today. Now this is Gale with the ball.
Scott Gale, a mercurial player, a player that can score all sorts of tries, mostly from the use of the kick and chase. But he's had a lot of clubs, and he's probably maybe just lost a little bit of enthusiasm for the game. Stewart now with a long trajectory kick downfield. It's going to bounce badly for him. Bounces all right for Riolo. The fullback takes play over the quarter line. Brendan O'Mara, the dummy half, away there to Brett Rodwell. Strapping big centre who plays in the headgear. Wishart running from dummy half. Midway between the quarter and the halfway line. David Walsh lost the ball forward, I think. Lost it in the tackle. They've just got to guard their possession a little bit more than they are. Michael Bolt, what do you think?
Yes, 4 times now in the first lot of 3 tackles in the rucks, they've dropped the ball. It's certainly not the way to play Canberra. You can't give them the ball back. One thing I have noticed, Rex, is that John Simon is playing up in the defence. We've seen Ricky Stewart already bring off a chip kick and that bomb, so they must have spotted it fairly early.
All right, well, we're back to the action now with Scott Gale to his feet and playing it back to Stewart. Back on the inside there to Stone. There's a tearaway. I've not seen this fellow before. Here's Dale Fritz running strongly. A good, strong surge. I think he got a bit of a clout in the jaw there for his pains too, but ignored it. Here's Gale with a kick over the top. Throwing into the... Wells going very close to the line. Oh, yes, well, it was always going to be a kick that just a fraction too long. It was the wrong side of the corner flag, but a very good kick in the context of where it was kicked from, about 40 metres out. It was only missed its objective by maybe a metre.
Of course, Riolo having to run that ball over the in-goal area there, and Illawarra now to return the ball from underneath their own sticks. Canberra look very good in this early part of the game. They're certainly committed. And as Tim Sheen said during the week, they've really got nothing to lose as far as 1992 is concerned, and they will throw the ball around too.
Waiting on the drop kick to come from Simon. Not a bad length. Up around the halfway line. Onto Stewart. Gives it to Bradley Clyde, the workhorse. That last pace before the defence comes to him always is to straighten. He straightens the attack, goes straight and hard. A first-class player. Walters a dummy half away to Osborne. That looked like a forward pass to me. Gets it back on the inside to Stone. Stone back to Walters. Walters gets it away there to Furner. Furner onto Stewart, out to Meninga. Standing out in the centre, switched it away to Stewart. Stewart running nicely, lobs a pass over the top. Got it there to Brett Mullins. Mullins makes a big grab and he's brushed at the defence. He's going to score a very good try. Oh, what a beautiful try. What a great weave.
Brett Mullins, a fantastic try for the Canberra Raiders side. Put on the pace, step round 3 men, and has gone in the corner to make it 6-0. Of course, as I was mentioning, the Canberra Raiders are very keen to throw the ball around. Here we see Stewart running wide, fends off one, pops the pass across the top. Mullins stepping back on the inside, round 1, 2, 3. Sees the corner. He's got plenty of speed too, this boy. And just gets inside there and puts the ball down for a Canberra 4-pointer, a classic try to Brett Mullins.
Yes, a try really that his father, Bill Mullins, the former Eastern Suburbs winger and Australian winger, would have been very, very proud of. It was beautifully taken. He certainly scored it. He didn't take the corner post until after the defence had come to him and pushed his body against it. Little doubt about it, but he beat 4 defenders there in a most convincing run. But the ideal thing that came out of it from his point of view was that he showed a very good idea of using the great pace that he has. A splendid try.
Bolter down on the sideline, that Steelers camp. They look shell-shocked at the moment.
They are. Canberra's coming out, shooting everything at them at the moment. Ricky Stewart's directing play, a little overhead basketball pass, set that up for Mullins, and the defensive line wasn't straight. They came up in dribs and grabs. That's why he could weave his way through.
Just waiting for this kick at goal by Furner from about a foot inside the sideline and perhaps a metre back from the quarter line. Has a good, strong, hard look at the posts. Concentrating hard. Movement. Oh, it's a beautiful looking kick. It is a delight. It's hit the upright and bounced in. Hit the right-hand side of the left-hand upright and went to the right. A beautiful, it's almost as if he brought that one cannon off the cush. That was a superb kick, beautifully taken, and Canberra race away now. They lead by 8 points to Illawarra's 0. Long kick. Stewart takes it back in his goal line. Gives it into Hoppy. Hoppy's, he's made a great inroad through the Illawarra defence, which left 3 men on the ground behind him. And this is a non-committed defence here at the moment, and now they've conceded a penalty, so all the good work there by Hoppy's been rewarded. That's rather Dumbo football. Now Big Mal comes over to take the kick. He'll get it up round halfway, one would think. He does, a beautiful torpedo-type punt. 8 metres short of the halfway line. Now Walters, onto Stewart. The Hoppy dummies, throws the defence off a little bit, made an inroad. Onto Walters. Stone picked that up beautifully, fell as he did. Got some skills, this lad. Bradley Clyde on the surge. Makes his accustomed 10 yards. Now Stewart. Gale. Cut out pass out to Meninga. A bit of hard wrestling there by Rodwell, manages to put David Boyle down. Now Walters to Stewart, dummies, little grubber kick. Oh, he's got him on a string. Absolutely delicious, that one. He had no angle at all. He was right on a metre from the sideline, and he's made about 23 metres with the kick. A delicious little kick.
Canberra really on fire. They've come out with all guns blazing, and they have that 8-point lead. Many people may believe that they didn't have any inspiration or anything to play for going into this match, but let me tell you, during a long week of training, Tim Sheen's displayed the points that were against when Canberra went away to the Wollongong Showground, I should say, in round 1. Returned with 79 points scored against them, so there is plenty of inspiration there, and no doubt it's done the trick because they have come out really fired up.
There's a vast difference in the point scoring potential of the respective sides. Illawarra have only scored 282, but they've had only 196 scored against them, whereas Canberra have scored 349 points, but they have 353 against them, so they've had more points scored against than they've scored, Canberra, indicating that they're an entertaining side, but a bit soft in defence.
The defence has been a bit of a problem this year, Canberra. They lost those players in Todd and the likes of Lazarus, who did get through a lot of defensive work. I mean, Todd in particular, but it has been a bit of a problem for them this season. Let's hope next season's a little bit better.
Yes, I know it's logic's there on the side of what you say, but I still would enjoy to see a side win by scoring 5 tries to 4 rather than see a grinding battle when no ball movement takes place. Anyway, we're back to the action in this game, and there's plenty of it. 8 points to 0, Canberra lead. We've had about 20 minutes of play, and they've shown some good authority. This fellow Dale Fritz, who's carrying the ball at the moment, has shown by his demeanour that he's a very tough guy and not concerned with taking on the opposition defence. He's a huge man, and obviously Fulton will have his eye on him from the Australian point of view. The grubber kick by Gale takes play into the quarter line. Fielded by Wishart, he's tackled immediately. Good quick defence there as it came up. I think that was David Boyle. It's a good chasing team. And to Simon. Simon gets it away to Rodwell. Rodwell trying to bust his way through, but he can't do it. There's a penalty to Illawarra, holding the leg in the tackle. One of those Dumbo things that footballers do from time to time. I think that particular Canberra player that did that must have had a brain explosion. The relief of the kick, and let me tell you that Illawarra must be feeling like a little bit of relief. They've had a fairly torrid encounter in this match. They've been run around in the classic Canberra fashion. Illawarra. That's a good pass. Illawarra still moving the ball. They're still yet to get to the halfway line. They've used up a few. McGregor slipped the pass neatly. Over May to support. Now Waddell comes forward. They've not made a real impression in that last set of 6. It was fairly slackly taking, more or less a midfield bomb. Brett Mullins comes up for it. Boyle gets the bounce. Nobody was really committed to putting the man that was going to catch the ball under pressure. This is not the Illawarra side that I saw some weeks ago. Today they don't look quite as committed, and they should be today. This is an enormous opportunity for them. If they can lift themselves, they can slide into second spot in the competition. It's up for grabs. Long kick by Stewart, running them around once again.
Once again, a great kick from Ricky Stewart. You can't beat his kicking game at times. If he's on target, Ricky Stewart's one of the best in the game.
Michael Bolt, it's one of the most awful experiences on a football field to have a good kicking game against you and be constantly turned around and have to jog backwards, isn't it?
It certainly is, Rex, and especially with those Canberra forwards following you up as well. They're coming up and they're hitting the ball very well. They're getting up with quick play the balls, and that's the reason Canberra keep rolling ahead.
All right, well, let's see what they can do with this set of 6 now. They've got about 11 or 12 metres out from their goal line. Wade McGregor. And he's beautifully tackled right round the boots. Boyle's doing a good job on him. He's up very quick in defence.
Young David Boyle is another one of those players Canberra's been without for the majority of the season. He's just returned from injury. And he's a welcome return for the club too.
Dean Callaway, the dummy half. Back to Simmons. Oh, he's caught. Gets a pass away. Out to Riolo. Riolo again makes the break. It's a good performance by him. Gets it back on the inside to Rodwell. Rodwell running strongly. Throws the dummy on the outside. Tackled by one leg. By Mullins. Now they swing it out to the right. Simons away there to Fritz. Fritz gets it onto McGregor. McGregor going straight and hard. He's tackled only a few metres out, about 15 metres out from the line. But I believe he's lost the football. Or was it the handover there?
That's the handover. Fritz playing the ball back to Croker.
Well, that's the first good-looking attack that the Illawarra side have mounted in the first 23 or so minutes of this game. Let's hope there's more of it.
Michael Bolt, Paul McGregor running wide there with the ball. It's something he's got to do more of, I think.
He has to be very involved with this game. We're giving Canberra a large weight advantage, and Paul McGregor is actually one of the largest players for the Steelers side. He needs to get involved and needs to put his authority on his game. He's, a representative centre, and he needs to be able to come to the fore and come up with the big plays in this game today.
Well, there again, we've got Stewart turning the Illawarra side around. I think it's something psychological in the context of when a good kicking game is against you, the team you're playing in, and you are turned around and constantly have to turn and run backwards towards your line. I think there's something psychological in it, because it used to bug me, I can tell you. But having a touch judge in it at the moment, I'm not sure what that's all about. I don't think it was anything very serious.
I think on what you were saying there, even more so, Rex, the fact that the Steelers were up in Canberra's 22 and now they're all the way back in their own 22, it certainly would be frustrating for those big forwards.
Indeed. Simons goes to dummy half. Fritz was playing it now out to Rodwell. Rodwell tries to surge through the centre. He's a good player. He knows the way to run. He knows what to do with the ball in the open too. Away there to number 11, Craig Izzard, one of the multi-talented Izzard family. Simons and Fritz back on the inside there to Waddell. Adele gets over the halfway line. They're showing a little bit more enterprise, looking on the inside and outside for support. Pinchinelli back slammed hard. Last tackle. Simmons kicks. He's the counterpart of Stewart. Not quite as effectively. Mullins. That's a good run. He made 8 metres there, and under a little bit of problem, he had 2 defenders right on his hammer. Boyle steps and goes a couple of metres. Some of the Canberra players just a touch slow getting back on side. Bradley Clyde. Stewart. Dale Fritz. Darren Fritz. Let's get it right. Darren Fritz. We've got 2 Fritzes playing. Dale in the Illawarra side. Darren in the Canberra side. Stewart, the big dummy, the big sidestep. And the kick. It's a monumental kick. It's gone way downfield. The referee hasn't seemed disposed to drop a penalty on anyone for it downtown. The reserve grade referee did.
I think one aspect about Ricky Stewart's kicking game too, when he does put a kick like that in, he gets a bit of air, he gives the ball a bit of air, and it gives those players time to come through when the ball is in the air too.
Well, that's what they seek. I don't want to talk about NFL football because I don't particularly like it, but that's one of the things that their kickers have to do when they use up the football and have to kick. They count the seconds that the ball hangs in the air, so they'll talk about a 4.5 second kick or a 5 second kick. Right to Simons. This looks a good kick down the sideline. Breaking. No, it's broken away again. Break back. That was the leg break. Mullins got a pass away there. That's nicely done too. Got it out to, it looks like Boyle. Boyle gets it back on the inside. Oh, there was knock on. A knock on there.
Well, it was Jason Croker out there on the touchline. He threw a pass into Steve Stone. Stevie Stone did his best to try and pick up the ball, but unfortunately that small knock on.
Well, Stone's been handling well today too. He's taken a couple of very bad passes, low passes, but he couldn't handle that one.
And plenty of support out there too.
Illawarra in possession from the scrum. Fritz very nearly through, caught by one leg, hopping. Simmons. Matty Rodwell gets a pass back on the inside to Cross. Cross stands in the tackle, gets it away to Simons. He gets over the halfway line. They're starting to meld in a little better now, starting to find each other with the ball. Possession changing hands and those sort of situations Illawarra can ill afford. There's Mal Meninga. Puts the shoulder in. Significant that 3 of them had to handle him to get him eventually onto the ground.
He's an awesome sight, Mal Meninga. That game last Friday night against Brisbane where Meninga ran almost the length of the field to score a try. The TV cameras there on that occasion showed a head-on shot of Meninga. I tell you what, I'm glad I wasn't in the way.
Osborne makes ground but lost the football. No sides guilty in this last 7 or 8 minutes of some indiscretions with the football. 8 points to 0. Canberra lead Illawarra. We've had 30 minutes of play. Scrum won by Illawarra. Fritz trying to weave his way through the middle. Callaway at the Pinchinelli. Cross. Rodwell. Callaway getting to every ruck at dummy half. Pinchinelli took the ball but really wasn't ready for it and had to change direction. Simon, a little kick over the top. If the bounce is right, it was knocked on by an Illawarra player. No, the referee, in my opinion, was wrong there. I think we'll see that in the replay, and I think we'll see that the Illawarra player knocked the ball forward. I think you'll see.
Graham West has now called out his touch judge to try and get a second opinion on this, but it was young Brendan O'Meara, who picked up the ball and reached out over the line.
That's the knock on. Yeah. It would have been a bit of a travesty, that one, had it been allowed, as we see it again.
And it was O'Meara who knocked the ball on originally. Now he reaches out over the line there.
Yeah, it's just the faintest of knock-ons, but the ball touched his hand and was propelled forward. So that's well done by the referee there, and well done by the touch judge.
Michael Bolt, there's some movement on the sideline down there. It looks like young Daryl McDonald in number 40.
Well, Canberra just in possession about 7 or 8 metres outside their line. Osborne comes forward on the charge. Plays with that traditional headband. He must have problems with his ears.
We just saw the change there. It was Brett Mullins, the fullback, coming off. Brett has been suffering from the bout of the flu this week. Whether or not that's been enough to pull him off. Darryl McDonald is more than capable, slotting into that fullback position. He played there earlier this year. He's a big, strong fellow who last year Tim Sheens did believe was going to finish up in the forward pack. Also down on the sideline, Gary Coyne looks to be warming up. Michael Bolt, another change there.
Yes, Fritz is off with Coyne on. Coyne's gone into the second row.
Illawarra win the scrum. Brendan O'Meara came round from over the blind. McGregor goes sideways virtually, not much forward. He does in the last bit of the run and makes about a 10-metre gain. He's crossed the lock forward. Callaway, Simon, Fritz, Rodwell. Rodwell tries to get his body through, past the defence so that he can offload the football, but they're awake to that. The Canberra defenders, both of them, hang on to him and his arms. There's Clyde. You can't walk without legs, you can't run certainly without them.
Bradley knows all about that too.
Simon, the kick downfield. Taken by Croker. Well, this is McDonald, the fullback. He's having to do a bit of balking work, while some of the Canberra players a little bit tardy getting back on side there. They tend to walk back and all bunch up at that particular moment. Ferner.
Yeah, they definitely seem to take one or two runs up the middle from the forwards before they do get organised. You'll see now they're starting to put some organisation in. Ricky Stewart getting involved once again, slipping a pass back into Stephen Stone and then on to Gary Coyne, but it certainly takes them that 1 or 2 balls to get rolling.
Walters away to Stewart. Oh, beautifully taken. After Meninga kicks on the last tackle. Osborne's on the chase. He might get there in first. No, he dived for it. The kicker's got there. Simon was able to get underneath him and kick the ball away. It'll be a line drop out to restart the play because the defending side kicked the ball dead. That was well worth the opportunity by Meninga. He had Osborne close to it, as we can see.
Paul Osborne putting on the pace there. For a front row, he was showing a bit of toe, but just not quick enough. Made the dive at the end, but failed to get to the ball. I think if he had gone over anyway, if we'd called it back a bit, you would have seen that Osborne was in front of the kicker at the time when Meninga did put the chip over. So whether or not the referee was onto that is another thing.
Well, still time to go for more points to be scored before the half-time break. Simon. That's a good lengthy kick, well over 50 metres. On to Bradley Clyde. He's tackled midfield. They've got 2 sides of the ruck to work. Away to Coyne, very experienced forward. Sort of a player that you really would imagine he'd be in the first lineup, not coming on as a replacement, but there's Stone. Got a pass away to Stewart. On to Gale. Gale driven backwards in the tackle. A very effective tackle. Stewart, oh, dummy, told them that he was going to come back on the inside, and there it is to Big Mal Meninga, who was on the inside, Stewart really set that up by magnificently suggesting to the opposition by moving his hand to the right that the winger was going to come inside him. He did that about 2 or 3 times, and then he eventually found the gap and went through himself. We'll see that again, and you'll watch the skill of this man. He's a treat to watch.
Well, how many times have we seen Ricky Stewart do that this year? He runs across the line there, shows the ball a couple of times, switches it back inside. There's no one better to be waiting for it than Mal Meninga. Going over for another Canberra try, taking the score along now to 12 points to 0.
Giving Ferner not a simple attempt at goal. He's had a couple of pretty tough attempts.
Once again, Ricky Stewart directing the traffic. He's a genius when he's playing like this, and he gets the ball running wide with it. Across the line. I think the beauty about Ricky Stewart is he's just so unpredictable. They just don't know what he's going to do with the ball next.
There's an enormous amount of skill allied to his kicking game, which is so dramatic and so important to his team. That alone would get him into a lot of first-grade sides. But he's got the running game as well, so he's got the Quinoa. Well, Ferner would be wishing his players and teammates would be scoring a little closer to the goal, because he's had a couple of horrendous ones from out here. You can see just slightly to the in the foreground there's the last place that he had a kick from. A little bit of sand there. About 3 metres in from the sideline. Oh yes, this is a beautiful kick. He really is a good goal kicker. There's absolutely no vices in him at all. The ball travels straight through. A great goal, magnificently converted there. Canberra 14, Illawarra 0.
Well, the Canberra side now setting up that 14 points to 0 lead at half-time. Tim Sheens would have to be more than happy with it, as would the entire Canberra side. They've been playing the right kind of football to defeat a team like Illawarra. Ricky Stewart there reaching for the ball, Sean Hoppy taking it. But they certainly do look on top at this stage. Once again, Hoppy charging back upfield.
Yeah, there seems to be a marked reluctance by the Illawarra side to commit themselves to defence. They allowing the opposition to run at them on frequent occasions and standing still to take the tackle. And that's no way to defend, not against a team that can move the ball as brilliantly as the Canberra side can. That's good yardage being made by Osborne. They've cut away a little bit of a whack in the mouth there. And the Coyne stands in the tackle. Last tackle coming up. Back it goes to Stewart. Stewart gives them hurry up again. Well, that's very close to going over the sideline. The touch judges raced in. And we're going to see some players called up. What's this all about, Michael?
It was Dean Callaway trying to chase out from marker, and I can't actually see who was playing the ball, but he stuck his right arm out and collared him on the way through. I think Dean Callaway just milked a fairly good penalty out of that one.
A couple of changes down there too, Michael. Number 40 coming on for the Steelers side. Looks like Bill Dunn.
Bill Dunn's on, and David Walsh is off. It's a very critical time. The Steelers really have to do something over the next 8 minutes. This last 3 minutes of this first half and the first 5 of the next half to be a force in this game. Otherwise, they've got a golden opportunity for the Winfield Cup this year, and they're just seeing it slip through their fingers.
They do have a tough run in too, don't they? They've got those sides. Brisbane, I think they're playing Brisbane at the showground, but they've also got Penrith and Manly, which are two other sides which are going to be difficult to toss as well.
It's certainly not a dream run in, that's for sure. But if you're going to be playing these sides in the final 5, you've got to be able to beat them prior to it. So you've got to toughen up, and that's what they're not doing at the moment. They're letting Canberra just dominate the forward play. Every time Canberra comes up, they're getting over that advantage line by 4 or 5 minutes. Rex had it in 1 before. They just weren't putting them down. They're just getting up too quickly for them.
Here's Wishart from 10 metres inside the halfway, almost midfield. Virtually no wind to speak of. Direction's the only thing required. And that's not on for the kick. So Illawarra failed to record any points at this stage, so it's still registering now at 14 points to 0. I think Mal Meninga's fairly agreeable to would be fairly agreeable to come off at this stage and give his team a bit of a rest, but certainly not in any hurry to get the action underway. Stewart with a monumental drop kick. It's about 60 metres. Wishart needs to get more involved than he has been. He's only touched the ball a couple of times in the opening stanza. Craig Izzard to his feet slowly. Now out to Dunn, hits his first touch. He can be an exciting player. Simon. Out there to Rodwell. Rodwell nicely through. Just stumbled that he got his body through the tackle. It was Bradley Clyde that came over and finally put him down. One of these days I'm going to put a mileometer on, or an ergometer on Bradley Clyde and check out how far he runs in a match, because it would horrify most players.
There wouldn't be too many forwards in the game who get through the work rate that Brad Clyde does, Rex. No,
unquestionably, he's a monumentally good player, and he's a great player for any young player to model himself on. Stewart. Osborne puts it down, was looking what he was going to do with it before he took it. The ball being taken there cleanly by Dunn. Got away to Simon. Got a pass out there to Craig Izzard. Now Dunn. It's not sufficient that they just run for ground. They've got to run and observe the business of offloading the football from time to time. Wishart put in the clear by a lovely pass. He's got to go straight. He's got to go hard. He doesn't get the... Yes, he gets a pass away, and it's taken by Canberra. Well, they've an offside ruling there by the referee, which will be disappointing for the Canberra side, because they covered fairly well. That's the half-time hooter in the background, or siren, is it?
Well, they're going to take a kick, the Steelers, with the half-time siren going. But on that occasion, it was a great covering tackle from the fullback, Darryl McDonald, who came in. You'll see here on the replay, McDonald coming across with Stewart. Wishart running for that corner. He comes back on the inside. McDonald took him head on, and also assisted there by another Raiders forward. He had the ball jolted out of his arms. But referee Graham West finding an indiscretion.
I think the ball actually was first touched by Scott Gale and then by Stewart, who was in front of him. I think that's the reason for the penalty. It's not all that clear. There were a few players huddled around, but he did rule offside, and I think that's the reason for it. This gives Illawarra a second attempted goal from a metre out from the quarter line and about 9 metres in from the sideline. Wishart, the man. He attempts to hook the ball off the mound when he attempts to stretch for a distance. Now, the last kick he had from halfway. This one's not so... Power's not so such a requirement. That's a good kick. So, at the half-time break, we've got Canberra 14, Illawarra 2. The try scorers for the Canberra side have been Mullins and Meninga, and Ferner has come up with a couple of goals. So that's the way it's been in this quite exciting match here at Bruce Stadium. We'll be back shortly with more of the action. Well, Illawarra coming back on the field now. Now we'll have a bit of a look through the sides and see whether there's any changes. Pinchinelli's there in 41, and the other player, number 40, Bill Dunn. One a change before the game and one a change during the game. Canberra come back onto the field.
We see right there too, Rex, Bradley Clyde coming back out for the second half, so a tendinitis. Couldn't be too bad for him.
Yes, he would have every reason to have tendinitis. He does more running than most, but he's obviously a very fit man. Well, can this Illawarra side get the winning of the game that's almost away from them? half-time. They trail by 14 points to 0. It's a big ask. The referee shading his eyes from the sun, which is about to disappear sometime in the next 10 to 15 minutes down behind the grandstand. Well, they're asked, are they ready, the Illawarra side? They signify they are, and Ferner will kick off from the half line. Simon takes the ball on the full. And Rodwell. He bust the defence. They took it a little bit casually, the tackling, but he made 25 metres. He got out to the 22 mark. Now they've got a lot to do, Illawarra. Let's see how they go about it. They're not fired up at the moment. They need somebody to make a dramatic run, something dramatic to happen. Usually fires everybody up to go on with it.
Illawarra really going to have to come to life in the early stages of this first half. They have to be the next scorers. They have to get points on the board next. Otherwise, I think as far as this match is concerned, they can kiss it goodbye. And a penalty going there to the Illawarra side.
It's offside. A good towering kick there. Callaway gets up there quickly to get the ball started. He does that now. And Simon. Waddell comes ahead. Front row forward. He's not played as well as he can play. Simon. Way to Izzard. Tackled about 3 metres short of the quarter line. Dale Fritz running. They sent a decoy through in front of him. Callaway. Izzard. Pinchinelli switches the play back to Simon. Simon on to the fullback. Oh, and he's well met by a strong tackle there from David Boyle, who's been one of the better defenders in this side.
Well, that was better looking stuff from the Illawarra Steelers. They tried to do something with the ball then. They switched it back inside, and even though Canberra read it very well, at least they were trying.
Well, the kick's probably going to go a bit too far to be difficult. It is. Darryl McDonald standing underneath that, was under no pressure at all. Had, well, about five yards before the first attacker could get to him, and really was not under any great pressure. So that's a kick that really wasn't a great one. Canberra got 2 trainers on the field at the moment, giving drinks of water to their respective players. One would have thought they could have done that.
I did actually notice that was Scott Gale that just took a drink then. He came out on the field after half-time and was physically sick. And he did take a drink at that stage and just had another drink then. So I don't think Scotty Gale's too well at the present time.
Malmaninga. Put down by McGregor. Stone makes a half break. He's a willing little horse, this fellow. He's not the biggest forward I've ever seen, but he's certainly very good. Walters loses the ball after running forward.
Yeah, Steve Stone, he's been another find for the Canberra side. Of course, Stoney was the captain of the South Sydney's under-21 side back in 1989, I think. He took that side to the grand final. And on that occasion, they defeated Canberra. Stoney then switched and put on the green and hasn't really looked back since. He's been a vital part of the Canberra team this year with so many players missing through the test duties, etc. Steve Stone's been on call most of the time and certainly hasn't let his side down.
Illawarra in possession. Dale Fritz getting up to play it. Callaway does a full pivot before he passed it. That was only time wasting. Cross trying to get those arms free to get a pass away to Rodwell, who came on the outside of him, but he wasn't able to do it. Waddell going forward. Callaway again. Simon's little grubber kick through too far. No, not far. It's regathered. It came off a Canberra Raiders player. Rodwell probably should have, the other option he had there was to offload the football straight away. That shot probably should have happened. Waddell, Callaway at dummy half. The 2 sides of the ruck to work. Craig Izzard goes straight and hard, but tackled. They're only running one out. They're not linking with each other. Simons, Punchinelli. McGregor steps back off the right foot, goes back into the defence. Wrapped up firmly. Nice little grubber kick through. Croker goes down on it. Pinchinelli's there to tackle him. Now Randall McDonald or Darryl McDonald. Good, somewhat tough running fullback he is. He's a very interesting player when he gets the ball on the open. Very strong, good runner.
As much as Darryl McDonald does carry a bit of size with him, he certainly puts on the pace when he gets in a break. He has got a little bit of speed about him. As I did mention earlier, of course, Darryl McDonald was being touted as a forward for this year, but he has stayed in the backs and has played extremely well too. Ricky Stewart once again getting that kicking game going, and he puts a kick now deep into the Illawarra Steelers half, bouncing around. Rod Wishart picks it up, evades one, evades two, runs around three, looks back inside.
Well, that's a good run by Wishart. He's showed a little bit of class on that occasion. Didn't die with the football. Kept it alive, and that was good. Now McGregor comes away with that ball, gets a one-handed pass away to Simmons, flicked out the back door. Simmons tackled. Calloway. Izzard, I'm getting to the stage of wondering whether he can pass the football. He's died on pretty near every occasion that he's run with it. Unless they're under instructions, certain players not to pass the football. Oh, that's a good tackle. Very good tackle. Rod Wishart was absolutely knocked over straight away there by Croker. He didn't have a room to move. McDonald didn't get anywhere near that. It's a handover, even though Pinchinelli came down with possession from the bomb.
Sean Hobby making half a break there. Steve Walters into the dummy half position and running from dummy half, as we often see. Actually, it was David Boyle there. Steve Walters now gets the ball back from pass from Gary Coyne there.
He's had for him today a quiet game, I thought. He's not been anywhere near as brilliant as many of the occasions I've seen him. Walt was I'm referring to.
Graham West there pitting one of the Illawarra forwards for being in the way of the play of the ball.
Well, he was standing off to the side, and then he still tackled the player that ran, so he can't be construed as a marker if he's standing at the side.
Steve Waddell having a few words to say there. The penalty's now 4-3 in favour of the Steelers. Mal Meninga will take this kick and no doubt put Canberra straight back into an attacking position. This is just really what Illawarra didn't want to see in this second half. Michael Bolt.
Graham Murray said at half-time what he wants to do is to quicken up our play the balls and slow the Canberra down. Canberra getting the roll on from the play the ball, allowing Ricky Stewart to get his kicking game together. And he certainly wouldn't be wanting penalties like that this early in the second half, that's for sure.
Meninga coming on the burst. McDonald takes over for him. Waller's a dummy half. Osborne. And to Ferner. Ferner standing wide. Trying to use his pace. 14 points to 2. Canberra at ricocheted. Oh dear, oh dear. They've done and taken that. It was an odds-on chance he might have been able to sprint the required distance to score a try, but he couldn't do it.
Well, that was unlucky for the Illawarra side there. Dunn reaching for that ball, just failing to gather it in and knocking it in front of him. And as you mentioned there, Rex, I suppose if he had got the ball, he did have support outside too, and he could have easily got away with a bit of a break. Meninga in behind him. We'll see Dunn here, reaches for the ball, spills it forward. Clyde also chasing him from behind. Had a speedy one in Brendan O'Meara outside him, so there was a possible chance gone begging for the Steelers.
Yeah, I doubt that he could have sprinted the distance before he was caught, but he had support, so there was a possibility of a try coming from that sequence there, if he'd not mishandled. Stewart elects to go to the blind side. He's going very well. He's thrown that dummy again. That's the dummy with the right hand suggesting to the opposition that somebody should come inside him. Bradley Clyde, beautiful pass out to Mal Meninga. Meninga flops the pass out there nicely out to Jason Croker. Croker goes strong and hard, and he scored a very good try. He's pushed David Riolo out of the way and gone in for a very, very good Canberra try. So the score's starting to look a little bit difficult for the Illawarra Steelers now, the Illawarra Raiders now, because at 18 points to 2, well, what do you think?
Jason Croker, 2 big fens there. It was a fantastic individual effort from Croker. You'll see the ball swung wide. The Raiders throwing the ball. Clyde Meninga into a big hole. Throws the ball out to Croker. Goes to go back inside. 1-2. Barges over for a classic winger's try. And as you mentioned, that scoreline now is starting to get away from the Illawarra side. 18 points to 2. We've got about 29 minutes to go on this match, and Canberra looking ominous.
It's worth repeating that Bradley Clyde was involved at the start of that try too. He gave the pass to Meninga. Meninga threw the lob pass out to Croker, the wing three-quarter, who scored. But it took the expertise of 2 players to put Croker into the position to score. But let's not take anything away from him, because he had that great ability to belt a fen into the face of the pretenders, the tacklers, and on 2 occasions he was able to push them off with that fen. So a very good try.
What about this fella, David Furner? He's kicked 3 from 3 this afternoon, lining up for another shot. As we said earlier, David Furner yet to sign with the club. Hopefully that will come during this week at some stage. Furner is being looked at by many Sydney clubs at the present time. He's one of those players who can do almost anything on a football field. He's really come on in 1992 as he lines this one up.
Yes, he'll be getting sick of kicking from the sideline, but it hasn't made any difference at all, because that one hits the right hand upright and goes to the left on the ricochet. So he's done it both ways. He's hit the left hand upright and the ball has gone to the right, and now he's hit the right hand upright and the ball has gone to the left. On both occasions the ball went over the goal for a goal, so he's really got that worked out to a fine art. So that now takes the score on to Canberra 20, Illawarra 2.
Bolter down on the sideline. If you're still there, you've probably put the boots on by now.
At this stage, I tell you what, it might be a chance. It's so cold down here. It might be one way to warm up, but we've got to change at the moment with the Illawarra side. David Walters gone on, and Dean Callaway has come off, and it doesn't look like Dean's been injured. Dean Skipoletti is not on the bench, so we're going to have a very interesting situation with the hookers with the Steelers, and maybe in this next 10-15 minutes there could be 1 or 2 against the head for Canberra.
Sounds like you have a lot of faith in those 2 guys.
Yes, I'm from the old style. I still think there is some skill left in hooking. Not much though.
Well, back to the action here, and play midway between the quarter and halfway. Ball's given back to Stewart, and he does one of his monumentally long kicks, which takes play into the opposition quarter. Taken by Rioli, and he tries to run the ball out. He gets about 8 metres beyond the quarter line. Wishart to dummy half, away to McGregor. McGregor then on to Rodwell. Rodwell surges forward. He's belted over the top, and a good defensive tackle by Don Furner. Billy Dunn came up the blind side of the ruck there with a very strong run. Now Illawarra got a deep set back line. What are they going to do with it? McGregor has pushed Scott Gale out of the way.
Rex, Paul McGregor, we just haven't seen enough of him in this match.
No, I subscribe to the view that the exceptional players have to play exceptionally. They've got to have an inbuilt urge to do more. And unfortunately, McGregor doesn't seem to be that sort of a player. Coyne stands, gives the ball to Gale. They're into their ball distribution mode at the moment. Away there nicely to Walters. Walters has gone up to the right. He's run out of support. I think he's going to be tackled short of the line. They should score if they just move the ball nicely along their line now. They've got a long pass comes out from Stewart. Stewart gets it to pass away. Out it goes to Meninga, and then back on the inside to number 5, Jason Croker, and he's tackled. And 10 minutes in the sin bin, as if Illawarra don't have enough troubles at the moment. There's
it's their half, John Simon coming
off. Yes, I wasn't able to recognise him. He looks just a little bit disreputable with that black gear hanging out from underneath his shorts, but and his socks down around his boots. Well, there's An opportunity missed by Canberra. They had the opportunity for 6 there, but ball's been knocked on, and now the Illawarra side will be able to get the scrum feed and get possession again.
Well, that's probably the worst thing Ricky Stewart's done all game, taking the tap there and knocking the ball on just over the line. They had 6 tackles. They had Illawarra on the rack. A scoreline of 20 points to 2.
And 1 player down.
And a player off.
Yes, I still don't know how they failed to score on that occasion, but here's Stewart now. He's whipped it away. Out to Gale. Gale has the pass knocked down here. The referee has been picked up there, but let's see who's going to get to the defence here. Which one of the defenders? Kroger came in from the left wing with a magnificent tackle and took out Brendan O'Mara. As Rodwell running nicely from that position. He's tackled directly on the quarter line. Now they've got a back line in position. Can they move the ball? Done. Away to Fritz. Fritz gets a pass on to McGregor. I think he was tackled before he got the ball there. The referee didn't think so. Waddell goes through, gets a pass away there to Cross. Cross stands in the tackle, can't get the pass away. Fritz. Pincinelli, much too hard. The ball went to ground and Canberra have fallen on it. That pass came to Pincinelli like a rocket. He was not in a position to handle that one. That's ridiculous, passing a football that hard at a man that's only 2 metres from him. Darryl McDonald, an exciting runner, stands in the tackle, can't get the ball away. Just outside the quarter. Bradley Clyde on the surge, running very strongly. Coyne. Stewart. Back on the inside to Ferner. Ferner will come on a pace playing in good quality teams like Canberra. He's got all the skills. This is beautiful stuff. Canberra get the pass back on the inside. It's Gary Coyne. Gary Coyne will score. I thought there might have been a good chance of defence pulling him back there, but it wasn't to be. I think Sean Hoppy takes some credit for that try too. There was good interpassing down the sideline, but no credit taken away from Coyne there. He was able to go the last 20 metres and score the try.
Well, you mentioned Sean Hoppy. Sean Hoppy down that flank there with the ball, getting right away from the defence, fended off one, saw the corner, threw the ball back inside. Coyne in support. Coyne looked like he was going to run out of legs, but managed to step out of the tackle and places the ball down in nice position for David Ferner to put over the kick, which should take it to 26 points to 2. Paul Osborne throwing the ball away. Meninga, quick hands, getting the ball out wide. Hoppy on that run down the touch. Inside, Gary Coyne, another man who's yet to sign for next season. Coyne in under the post. The Raiders now running right away with this match. Darren Fritz is back on. A little bit of movement on the Raiders bench. And now once again, David Ferner with a shot from directly in front. He should put this one over.
Well, he's kicked all the goals from the sideline, or 3 of his goals have been from the sideline. I don't know that he's feel comfortable with this one directly in front. It's only about 12 metres out, and it's right in front of the black dot. Michael O'Neill coming on as a replacement. Ferner gets the goal. So the score hastens on. Canberra 26, Illawarra 2. Still got about 20 minutes or so of this game to play, and one suspects there's a lot more tries yet to be scored.
Walter, we said at the start of the match that the 3 of us felt actually that Canberra were going to get away with the game, but certainly I don't think we could imagine it was going to be by this much.
We certainly didn't, or I certainly didn't. I knew they were in for a tough game today, the Steelers. They had to be right on the ball. Canberra got away to a magnificent start. Ricky Stewart just turned Illawarra back in every set of 6. They just haven't got off word go, and they've just been piling it on ever since, and it's not over yet. There's another 20 minutes to go.
I've got to say, it's a shame when you think that a side like Canberra that plays the entertaining football, that throws the ball around, and they aren't going to be there this season. They're not going to be there when it's finals time.
It's a very frustrating part. The Steelers have been banking on a magnificent kicking game and a great defensive record as well. Unfortunately, it may well come against them in this latter part of the season, where you've got to get some good ball movement to get into this final 5.
Well, Canberra have been penalised on that occasion. Yes, I agree with both of you that it'll be a tragedy of the first water that Canberra aren't in the final 5 contention, because they are a brilliant side and potentially as good as Brisbane or any other side that you can mention. And that pass looked forward to. The referee stood right in front of it and appeared to let it go. Illawarra starting to put on some attack up here. They're only 10 metres out from the line. Neil has come on as a replacement. Michael Neil, formerly with the Western Suburbs and Balmain clubs. Redhead and a very exciting, committed player.
Well, Ginger Meigs.
Ginger Meigs is right. He's worth his weight in gold to a lot of teams. Still hammering away now. Neil's got the ball, got a bad pass away, but it bounces up nicely for Fritz. Fritz has tried his little sidestepping runs today. They haven't come off. Rodwell. That hasn't gone very far forward. Rodwell, the ball was picked up, thrown backwards. He had to come around and try the defence, and that's a handover, so that's good work by the Canberra players involved. Ferner, away on the charge, gets a nice pass away to McDonald. McDonald, the fullback, standing there. Tackle on the borderline. Now Osborne. Coyne. Stone again involved. Stone again. He's frequently pops up in 2, handling the ball in 2 of a set of 6. So he's got a very good work rate and very committed, very enthusiastic about his football. That's a great kick. But then they've been great all afternoon. Just turned the Illawarra side around completely.
Another classic kick there from Stewart. Once again getting the Steelers on the back pedal. We've got a change for the Canberra side on the sideline. Looks like David Woods coming on in number 23, Michael Bolt.
It's David Woods coming on. There hasn't been any movement from the Canberra side as yet, so I can't actually tell you who's coming off.
Well, 7,984 people have been in to watch today. This particular match, not a great crowd, but they've seen enough to know that if Canberra were going to be contenders in this premiership in '92, people wouldn't be singing so much about Brisbane being way down as theirs to win it. Illawarra have been a particularly well-performed team all the year. They've beaten some good sides. They don't play that well away from home, but they've got a marvellous record at home. And they have been done like a dog's dinner today. Let me tell you, at 26 points to 2, they're lucky to have the 2. Stewart trying his little dummy trick on that occasion. They've finally woken to the fact that he doesn't mean that he's going to pass the ball, flick the ball back inside when he waves his hand there.
Walter, it looks like that change might be for Bradley Clyde.
Yes, Bradley Clyde's been summoned to the sideline. As soon as Canberra get the ball, I'd say the change will be on.
I think they probably think they're far enough ahead. Neil. He gets up and plays the ball forward, which he's entitled to do. Gets a long pass away. They grab a kick and put down there. It's a nice bit of shepherding there by Darren Fritz, who was able to shepherd McDonald by just running towards the ball and not getting out of the way of a player who was an Illawarra player that wanted to get to it. He worked on the premise correctly according to the rules, but he doesn't have to get out of the way of anyone when he's running for the football. Coyne, nice pass out to Stone. Stone gets it away there nicely out to Croker. Croker's up the sideline, looks back on the inside. He's slipped away now. He's going to score on his own, is he? Well, he can't keep going to the right. He gives it away to number 23, and number 23 is the player.
And that's Dave Woods going in next to the sticks.
Just came on.
He's been on the field for about 3 seconds, Woodsy, and he's got that ball from Croker, who looked like he was going to score the try himself. And Woods goes in next to the post to take the scoreline to a blowout, basically. Some great running and great passing of the ball. Once again on the replay, we see Coyne getting it away through those backs. This is Croker running with the ball. Looking back on the inside, he decides to start off on the inside. He said, I'll keep going here. And he goes again, stumbles, flicks the ball up for Woodsy. And big David Woods over next to the post. I'm not quite sure, but it may be his first try of the season.
May well be, but he certainly won't be his first try that he scored inside the opening few seconds that he got on the field. I think he only had time just to say hello to the touch judge and be given the authority to go on, and the next thing he was involved in the movement. Anyway, that's a nice plus for him. 30 points to 2. Canberra lead. One suggests after this it'll be 32 points to 2.
I think they'll be talking about that try for a while to come, as David Furner adds the 2 extras to push the scoreline out to 32 points to 2 in favour of the Canberra Raiders. Pleasing the fans that have turned up this afternoon on what's been a fairly nice afternoon weather-wise.
Yes, just a very light zephyr of a breeze blowing across the ground now. It's only light. The temperature out there is not as cold as it can be in Canberra. And obviously the Canberra boys are appreciating the cold because they're scoring tries at a great rate of knots. This is the most comprehensive win. This is a very, very good and comprehensive performance by Canberra today, little doubt about it.
Well, they've kept Illawarra scoreless, and I mean, as far as tries are concerned, and that's probably the most important part.
Furner plays it back to Walters, back to Stewart. The tried and true pattern, the formula. Downfield it goes, back to the quarter. Riolo tries to run it out. Tackled by Stone, who's had a mighty game today for the Canberra team, make no bones about it. Stone, one of the better performed players, and certainly not one of the big names. He's been everywhere. Wishart running crossfield and being an easy mark for the tackle of Coyne. Dunn. Coyne again. Swings him down. They're still 8 metres short of the halfway line. That pass looked marginally forward. The referee standing 15 metres from it didn't rule on it. Neal back in. Intercepted by Walters. Walters gets it into Hoppy. Hoppy surges away. He'll score on his own. Oh, no, he won't. Well, the referee is going to rule a double movement. Well, we can't tell you from here that was the case, but we'll watch it from head on. The crowd don't like it, but I suspect that's only because it's a try that's been scored and the local crowd don't like tries being disallowed. Now, if he advances his arms, once he leaves, hits the ground, certainly it was a double movement, no doubt about it. His arms advance the ball, so if they ricochet, if he ricochets over, bounces over, that's a different matter. The referee was quite right on that connection.
Michael, one really worrying aspect to come out of this game for Illawarra has been the mistake rate.
It's certainly been huge for Illawarra. They normally come into a game and probably do around the 14 mistakes for the whole game. I reckon they did that in the first 20 minutes of this game. But Graham Murray certainly going to be a very worried man after this performance. 3 games to go, very tough games. It's certainly a hard road to hoe. They've made every mistake possible today, and
they've invented a few new ones.
They certainly have, but take nothing away from Canberra. They've been totally awesome out here today.
Well, I noticed that they play Manly play Brisbane away, and then Illawarra at home.
Yes, that will certainly
might be a good day for Illawarra to play better than they played today.
No doubt you'll be at Brookvale with the blanket Rex.
I'll be there with knobs on. That pass was forward, clearly forward. So there you are. There's a mistake that they hadn't made before that had been penalised, Michael Bolt. The pass from dummy half to the first receiver goes forward. It takes a particularly Dumbo sort of operation to do that one.
Yeah, they're showing a lot of initiative here at the moment to come up with the new ones.
Let's see what Canberra can do with this move. Lobby pass out to McDonald. McDonald slips and falls. And the players running everywhere there. Well, what a good strong surge that was from Fritz. Absolutely magnificent way to run. Walter slips into dummy half. Coyne. Meninga, one-handed pass on to Hoppy. Oh, he's made a meal of it again. That's Stone, backed up beautifully. Lobs a pass over the top, intercepted by Rodwell. So Canberra making some mistakes at the moment, but it's a different type of mistake. They're not getting themselves into trouble. They're just relieving the opposition.
Paul Osborne running back there, shaking his head. I thought he probably thought to himself he was in for one there.
Great tackle by Mal Meninga. Play stopped. Brennan O'Meara has got into a stage at the moment of being beaten by Hoppy and shaking his head as Hoppy runs past him. I suggest that's not the right attitude. He's got to do more than shake his head about the fact that the guy's beaten him about 4 times today. The kick goes into the end goal area. McDonald picks it up. There's a line of Illawarra players there, not to be busted. They tackle him about 3 metres out. Now Canberra, this is the only part of the play today that's worried me. They've taken a long time to get all their players back on side. This is the second play of the ball, and they're only just back. Walters ploughing his way forward to the quarter line. David Boyle, a good, honest performance today, has tackled particularly well. Fritz Meninga, well, put a mark on the wall. O'Meara has tackled Hoppy. Stewart kicks right down Riolo's throat. Got a bit of pace, this lad, too. They all let him run. Over the top came Osborne. Just inside the Canberra halfway line. Dunn. He comes to a shuddering halt. He's got a bit of pace, this fella, too. I'd like to see him standing wider and deeper. He's too flat all the time, too flat. 10 metres into the quarter line, into the half. McGregor trying desperately hard, but there were 2 men marking him on that occasion. Up she goes. McDonald. Oh, yes, he has. He's taken that very well, but he didn't take it anywhere near his body. Now Furner's run away for a sprint. Oh, got a nice pass away there. Back on the inside to Mal Meninga. Furner's got, obviously got some problems with his leg at the moment. McDonald, nice pass away there to Mullins, is it? Yes, Mullins, the fullback, has just weaved his way with that great speed of his. Just weaved his way in for another magnificent try, really a great try. They're starting to... They've put the Illawarra side on the rack at about 20 points to 2. They've now got them stretched right out, and they're turning the screws even further. The score is now 36 points to 2.
If you didn't think round 1 was going to be inspiration enough, have a look at this. Once again, the Raiders just making a mockery of the Illawarra defence. This is McDonald with the ball, slips it away. Mullins just showing that turn of speed that he's got. He's quick and puts the ball down for yet another Canberra Raiders try, and his second of the match. And the Raiders getting right away with the game. Mullins again. Simon in pursuit. Can't get to him. That's all there was to it. David Furner was down in back play. I think he had a cramp in his leg. He seems to be all right now. He'll come up to take this shot. Just outside the Illawarra 22. He's probably 10, 15 metres in from the touchline on the grandstand side here. Once again, not an easy kick. He's bounced it off every upright on the ground so far. I shudder to think where this one's going to come off.
Just outside the quarter. This is starting to get to be a simpler type of a kick. This is about 14, 15 metres in from the sideline. a metre out from the quarter line. Very slight breeze seems to be favouring him ever so slightly. Moves in. He's got it. I think that's his 7th goal. £38 to 2. I believe he's kicked 7 goals from 7 attempts. So there's another player that's had a very, very good game, because allowing for the fact that at least 4 of those kicks were from the sideline and 2 of them came off the woodwork, he's had a most interesting day.
And he's earned himself an early shower too. He's been called off, taken off the field. Well done, David Furner. Now McDonald brings the ball back. Can they get another one in? We've got about 4.5 minutes remaining. The scoreline 38 points to 2 in favour of Canberra. This is Fritz.
Fritz about 2 metres from the quarter line now. Now Canberra will be setting themselves to move the ball in some way, even though they're in their own quarter, because they do believe, as we believe, that your own quarter is a very good area to score tries from. Not like some of the coaches in Sydney who expound the views to players that they consider that they're not entitled to pass the football in certain areas. That kick went downfield. Riolo's taken nicely.
That's Craig Bellamy out there.
Yes, I recognise it.
In place of David Furner.
Craig Bellamy, a very talented reserve come first grader, has played lock and 5'8", played centre, played fullback. It's been in a lot of positions for the Raiders. Illawarra still persisting, still being persistent, but their mistake rate has been horrendous, and their tackling, some of the tackling has been, well, to coin a phrase, pathetic. Cross. Simon out to Neil. Well, McDonald was able to defuse that kick that came to him. The fullback moved forward a couple of yards, just beat McGregor. Stewart comes away with a good probing run that got him about 15 metres. There's Wood on the tear. Coyne. Offloads. Walters. Osborne. Osborne again. And he's waited too long, got the pass away, and it was a forward pass. And that put that down to over-enthusiasm of Osborne trying to be more involved. He had the opportunity to pass just prior to making that embarrassing error. And that would have been the right thing. The first option that he thought of was the right one.
As he's setting off upfield, I think he saw that try line again, Rex.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. It's always the great temptation to go and do a little bit more when there's a try on. They were a thoroughly well-beaten side today. They haven't stopped trying. I'm not talking about their courage, but they're a monumentally beaten side today by a team that has played well, but really it's been just a couple of players that have played exceptional football. Stewart. Stone has had a very, very good game. Brett Mullins, their fullbacks, had a game. Mal Meninga's done very little. He scored a try, but he hasn't put his imprint on the game at all. I'm not being critical of him. I'm just suggesting that Canberra have won it because they're a considerably better football team than Illawarra on today's form. The kick will come. It's a little short one. Nicely taken, but they were all in front of the kicker. The referee suggests they were offside.
So we start the countdown now down to the last 40 seconds. The Canberra Raiders spinning the ball wide. This is McDonald. Scoreline of 38 points to 2. It has been a comprehensive win to the Canberra Raiders side. this afternoon. We're hoping to knock off a couple of those teams that are in the finals hunt as the season draws down to a close. We'll face a couple more over the next few weeks too. This is Coyne.
Well, I'm glad Manly don't have to meet them, I promise you that. Little kick went too far for Wishart. Wishart was able to get the ball, but the hooter has gone. And there is a monumental win to the Canberra side by 38 points to 2. There have been 6 tries and 7 goals in the Canberra tally, and 1 penalty goal, a solo effort to Illawarra. Wishart kicked that goal. For the Canberra side, Mullins, Meninga. Mullins scored 2. Meninga, Croker, Coyne, Woods scored tries, and Ferner has, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 7 goals out of 7 attempts.
7 from 7 for David Ferner. So we'll take a short break and we'll come back with the wrap-up of today's match. Canberra Raiders 38, Illawarra 2. And with the Telecom Tower pointing skywards in the background, pretty much where Illawarra's semi-final hopes have gone this afternoon after a comprehensive defeating at the hands of Canberra, 38 points to 2. Running through the stats for Canberra, the tries: Mullins 2, Meninga, Croker, Coyne, Woods 1 each. David Ferner, magnificent with the boot, 7 from 7. The scrum 7 and the penalties 5. The Illawarra scorecard, and it doesn't look too good. The tries 0. The goals just the 1 from 2 for Rod Wishart. The scrums, they won 9 of those, and the penalty 6, so they did have the ball at certain stages. We'll have a quick look at a couple of the tries from the second half. First one to Jason Croker, which was scored just after half-time. Sean Hoppy swinging the ball away there from the dummy half position. Now we see Clyde running into a gap. He gets it away to Meninga, who finds an even bigger gap out to Croker. He comes back on the inside. He says, no, I won't. 2 fens, and over he goes. Jason Croker, a magnificent try there. The 2 fens really proving the difference. This second try now to Gary Coyne. We see Hobby on a characteristic run down the sideline, which he did all afternoon. The ball back on the inside to Gary Coyne. And Coyne, just the 1 fend, turns around, looks for support and says to himself, I'll put it down myself. The third try of the second half. And we'll see right now Stone out to Croker, who takes off on a run down the sideline. He looks back inside, runs round behind David Boyle. Now here he gets the ball away to David Woods, who had just come onto the ground. He'd been on the ground for about 5 seconds. He goes over next to the post and makes it easy for David Ferner with a conversion attempt. Right now we'll whiz down to the sideline. Michael Bolt talking to the Raiders captain, Mal Meninga.
Mal, certainly comprehensive victory out here today. You were certainly out there to dent Illawarra's final 5 hopes.
Yeah, I guess we're not haven't got a chance to make the 5 now, so we've still got to play as well as we possibly can. Everything went for us today. Nothing went for Illawarra, unfortunately, but that's the way the game goes. They gave us a fair old flog in the first round, so we owed them something.
Yeah, it's the payback time of the year. It's got 3 more games to go. The way the form, when you finally get your team back on the paddy together, the Canberra Raiders still got it.
Yeah, mate, we always knew we got the team for the year, but unfortunately, whether it's injuries or rep season, back up from rep football games, it's been made it difficult for us, and have a huge turnover of players this year. We've got some young guys coming through, lacking a little bit of experience at the moment, but gain that confidence as the season comes to an end, and we're all planning for next year.
Ricky Stewart's game today, once again, his kicking game certainly turned Illawarra around, and you just went from there.
Well, he certainly helps us, doesn't he? He comes out and he finds touch for us to have a bit of a break, and we can continue from there. And without Ricky in the side, I doubt we could play as well as we could. So that full marks are sticky today.
Thank you. Enjoy a nice hot shower.
And so that's where we'll leave it from the Bruce Stadium. A 38 points to 2 win to the Canberra Raiders. On behalf of the commentary team, Michael Bolt, Rex Mossop and myself, it's good night.